Good day, everyone. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'd love you to hit the subscribe button because I'm moving towards my 200 number, and I'd love you to be part of that number on my channel. So today, we're talking about energetic momentum with your team, okay, and building and booking 10 parties in the new year. Okay, so I'm excited to share this tip with you today because it's the third tip in the series. I'm Gail Bates, CEO of MyMentorBiz.com, where I help leaders grow and scale their business. And we actually work on some systems and strategies to help them get to each level, up the level of your comp plan until you reach the top in that $1 million area, because that's what I did. And so today we are actually in the third episode in this series of my 10 Happy Hostess Campaign, okay? So in this campaign, if you go back, you can watch each one of these series. In the first series, I talked to you a little bit about how to prepare and introduce this campaign to your team. And in that introduction, I shared with you some ways to get them very clear with their calendar, okay? And also making sure that they know exactly where they want to be and how many people they want to book with going into the new year. In the second series, I actually gave you a to-do list to work with your team on how to take that action, on who to call. And we talked about some scripts and what to say when asking people if they want to book in the new year. So today we're talking a little bit about follow-up, okay? This is the third series. We're talking about follow-up and making sure that those parties are going to hold. So, you know what, you want to remember that the first 6 weeks of the year are prime booking spots on your calendar, and make sure your team knows that, okay? So making those prime booking spots desirable for hostesses is going to help them get those bookings filled. So on today, we're going to talk about, with the follow-up, is giving your team some tasks, okay, on what to do and how to keep the momentum going with those hostesses to make sure those parties hold in January. And here's a little list. You might want to write this down, okay? But a lot of it is just hostess coaching, but it's the way that you connect with the hostess that makes the party hold. So working with this little task list for your team members is really going to build that synergy and that energetic momentum that I'm talking about. So the first task you want to give them is making sure that they have given the hostess a wish list. What is in it for her? What does she want to get for free? Okay, and going over that wish list to make sure they're very clear together. Next, of course, is the guest list. The guest list is key to everything, getting the right people to the party. And so going over that distinctly, strategically with the hostess, give them that task on how to do that, okay? And a great way to do that is to ask the hostess questions about her friends, her guests. Susie, which of your friends loves to shop? Which of your friends hates to shop? Because those are great people who would love to have that experience at your party, okay? And then, of course, building what I call that BFF for friendship with every hostess. That is something you want to make sure your team members are doing, because it's that synergy with them that's going to make them want to make sure the party holds. And of course, giving the hostess guidelines. So the task there would be making sure the hostess understands if this is going to be a workshop. Like for me, I do a lot of parties where I share with them how to dress in today's work environment, okay? That's one of my key workshops at my parties. And I make sure that a hostess gets a guideline on how that's going to work. They're all going to get a handout. They're going to get a survey. These are things they're going to get. And that excites the hostess to share this with her upcoming guests so that they will attend for sure. And then continuing the conversation. Continuing the conversation with your hostess between the time that she says she's booked and her party is so important. That's going back to the BFF relationship, okay? Making sure that your hostess is on target to make sure that party will hold. And to do that, you've got to keep connecting with her. Even if it's just, hey, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas with your family. I'll be checking back with you with that next connect after Christmas to see how the guest is coming. So these are little tasks that I want you to give your team members to make sure that those parties are first 10 parties, those desirable spots are going to be, make sure they hold going into the new year. Because if somebody cancels, maybe you want to open it up to your client list and say, hey, I have one opening in my first 10, and making them those coveted spots going into the new year. Again, when you're working with your team and to create that synergy, you want to make sure you have team members that are committed, okay, to finding 10 hostesses. Make sure that they're prepared to offer their hostesses some special reward. Make sure that they're really determined to connect, okay, to make sure that party holds, and you've got some tasks for them to do today. And of course, being ready for that explosive growth that's going to happen in the first quarter of 2019. It's this energetic momentum, booking your first 10 hostesses in the new year, that's really going to bring them explosive growth, but it's also going to bring the whole team explosive growth. So stay tuned for next week's tips, because next week we're going to be talking about how to be ready for that explosive growth. Have a great Monday.